One sentence, 4 goes at it, same voice, same microphone, and same afternoon. Halfway through the sentence, I change my mind. I say, send it Monday. Then I say, no, hang on, make it Tuesday. The first few attempts keeps both days, but the last one keeps the right day and throws the rest of it away. And getting from the first to the last only took me about 30 or so minutes and fiddling around with some of the different settings. So this is the sentence. I'm going to read this sentence exactly the same every single time. So here's the first attempt. Right, so I need to send an invoice to John Smith on Monday. No, hang on, make it Tuesday because Monday is a public holiday. It's for 45 minutes of work at $249 and they'll want it itemized. Let me know if their finance person needs anything. So you can see with the first attempt, it's printed out exactly what I've said. So it's removed the ums, but apart from that, it's printed out pretty much exactly the same as what has been written in the script above. So that's for the first attempt. Now you can see here, it's removed the up here and the R as well down here. And I'll show you how that has been programmed in. If you navigate over to Voice Engine and then scroll down, you'll see right down the bottom here, it has a toggle for removing filler words, and you can add your own words here as well. So obviously it's set a whole bunch of defaults here. Now let's run a second attempt, but I want to turn this off and let's see what we get. Right, so I need to send an invoice to John Smith on Monday. No, hang on, make it Tuesday because Monday's a public holiday. It's for 45 minutes of work at $249 and they'll want it itemized. Let me know if their finance person needs anything else. Alrighty, so you can see with the second attempt here, it's printed out exactly what I've said word for word. So even it's put the ums and so it looks like it's removed the R here, but then it's jumbled up the itemized word here. And it looks like it's done a decent job of just relaying exactly what I've told it. So if that's what you're looking for, then obviously you can switch off filler words and you'll get everything that you've said in the text print. But for the most part, you'd assume that most people wouldn't want that. So I'm going to flick that one back on and just make sure that all of the filler words that I might say have been included, and it looks like they have been, so that's good. So there's your second attempt. So from the voice engine perspective, I've tried a whole bunch of these models out over the last couple of weeks, and I wouldn't actually recommend selecting any of them apart from Parakeet. Parakeet is the one that I've got the best results from. I found that it's the fastest, I found that it's the most accurate, and it's the one that I would definitely recommend using, and I wouldn't really bother exploring these other models. So I'd definitely recommend, if you're looking at focusing on optimizing this tool, then going with Parakeet and obviously making sure that remove filler words is switched on. And then the other optimization that I've made here as well is I've explored AI enhancement. Now, the one thing that I have done, and I'd recommend you to do too, is if you have a OpenAI or an Anthropic account, I would recommend setting up your verified provider. And it's as simple as getting your API key. So you just click on this button and it's going to navigate over to your account where you can create a new API key. Obviously, these are the API keys that I've created that I'm going to blur out. It's pretty easy to set up. Just click on create key and then click on I still need an API key, and then you'll be able to create a name for it just so that you can identify it later, and then click on a time limit. I've just put never for this particular one because I can easily roll that API key again. So click on never and then click on add, and then you'll be served up an API key, which I'm not going to use because I've shown you what it is. So I'm just going to click on done, and then I'm going to delete that API key straight away. Beautiful. And then once you come back to FluidVoice, you'd be able to just update the API key here, click on save, and then you'll be good to go. Now, the one thing I'm going to do here, I've just realized that I have Sonnet selected, so I'm just going to select Haiku as well. And then also, if you click on this brain icon here, you'll see that you have the option of turning reasoning on, and I'm just going to leave that disabled for now. Alrighty, so this would be like a two-step process. So first step would be recording and transcribing everything that I'm saying. And then there would be an additional process that would happen after that to figure out what I actually meant and then provide a tidied up sentence based on what I was trying to say. So I'll give you a couple of examples. Now, to get this working properly, what you would need to do is go over to advanced prompts, and then you'll see here that you can add a new prompt. I've already done that here. So I've got a custom prompt that I've set up, and then if I click into it, I have given it a name of custom. I've also given it a prompt. So I'll link this prompt down below just so that you can use it for yourself. And then, as I said before, I've already selected the model, and then I've left the built-in base prompt as it is. So this is the base prompt that FluidVoice provides out of the box. And then I've provided a custom prompt up here that's going to assist with tidying up that text. So once you've updated that, click on save. And for this all to work properly, you'll need to navigate over to settings and then scroll down the bottom here where it says shortcuts, primary dictation shortcut. And then where it says, yours will probably be off, where it says AI prompt. And I'm just going to select custom here. So what that means is that, number one, as I explained before, we have one part of the process where it's dictating everything that I'm saying, and then a second part of the process which is consuming this AI prompt, and then it's tidying up the text. So that's basically how it works. So you'll see the difference in a sec. Alrighty, so you can see these first two attempts here. I'm going to add a third attempt, and that will be with the AI enhancement. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit. Right, so I need to send an invoice to John Smith on Monday. No, hang on, make it Tuesday, because Monday's a public holiday. It's for 45 minutes of work at $249, and they'll want it itemized. Let me know if their finance person needs anything else. So you can see there's a little bit of a process that's running just after that, just to process the text. And then you can see the difference between the three versions. So you can see here it says, right, so I need, right, so I need. And then this one has got rid of the right, so, and it's just put, I need an invoice to John Smith on Tuesday because Monday's a public holiday. It's for 45 minutes of work and they'll want it itemized. Let me know if their finance person needs anything else. So you can see it's cleaned up the text a bit. I was actually expecting it to not show because Monday's a public holiday. I would have thought that it maybe would have realized that I changed my mind and then removed that and just made it for Tuesday. So let's see if we can improve this even more. Alrighty, so I'm just going to change the model up here to Claude Sonnet 5. So I know it's a bit more of an expensive model. It's probably overkill for what we're trying to do here, but let's just see if that makes a difference. And if it doesn't, then we'll try to optimize the prompt to see if that improves it just using the basic Haiku model. Right, so I need to send an invoice to John Smith on Monday. Hang on, make it Tuesday because Monday's a public holiday. It's for 45 minutes of work at $249 and they'll want it itemized. Let me know if their finance person needs anything else. Alrighty, so it looks like it took a little bit longer for it to process there, but from what I can see here, it looks like it's actually removed that because Monday's a public holiday. So I need to send an invoice to John Smith on Tuesday. It's 45 minutes of work, $249, and they want it itemized. So let me know if their finance person needs anything else. So there you go. So it's removed that because Monday's a public holiday, which is ideal and something that we would want. But I think that the concern is that we're using quite an advanced model to achieve that outcome, where I think that what we would want ideally is to be able to still use Haiku so that we're using the cheaper, faster, more lightweight model, but still getting the outcome that we want. So let's see if we can optimize the prompt to see if that makes a difference. So the first thing I'm going to do is just change this back to Haiku 4.5. I'm going to grab my prompt here, the custom prompt. Alrighty, so I've added a prompt here. So it's saying, please optimize the prompt below. I spoke the script. So I'm referring to the script here that I spoke word for word and then changed my mind about the day and it wasn't removed. And I was able to achieve this with Sonnet. So I've included the Sonnet, which is the ideal result that I want, but I wasn't able to achieve that with Haiku. And I've put in the Haiku result as well. And then I've included the full prompt that has everything in there that I used for both models. And ideally, I want to update this prompt to get the same results as what I got with Sonnet with Haiku. So I'm hoping that this is something that I can fix with prompt engineering as opposed to having to use the heavier model all the time. Alrighty, so Claude has come back to me with the optimized prompt. So I'm not going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb to figure out what it has changed. I'm just going to read this up here. So it's just split this guy to the reasoning for the change. Added 3 more examples. Added wrong, right path. Okay, cool. So it's made 5 changes to this prompt. I'm going to copy this straight into custom. I'm going to just confirm that it's Haiku that is saved, and then I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to try it again. Alrighty, so let's just make this the 5th attempt. Right, so I need to send an invoice to John Smith on Monday. No, hang on, make it Tuesday, because Monday's a public holiday. It's for 45 minutes of work at $249, and they'll want it itemized. Let me know if their finance person needs anything else. Alrighty, cool, so look at that. So we've got the fifth result here using Haiku, and it looks like it's left out the change of mind here. So it's got, I need to send an invoice to John Smith on Tuesday for 45 minutes of work at $249, and I'll want it itemized. Let me know if their finance person needs anything else. So there you go. So we're able to achieve exactly the same, it looks, result that we achieved with Sonnet using Haiku, the lighter, faster model, including that change of mind. So we're able to quickly optimize the prompt, just making 5 small changes using Claude to help with that iteration. And then the follow-up test has achieved the exact result that we're after. So I'm sure you've seen Wispr Flow and a number of other apps that are very similar, and they include this feature out of the box. If you say something and then change your mind, it's going to figure out what your intention was, and then it's going to provide a tidied up text. So this is going to help you when you're trying to communicate through email or through messages or through whatever it is. And it means that instead of you having to have another interim step in between or tidy up the text after the fact manually, you can just speak what you were trying to say, and Fluid Voice is going to automatically correct that mid-flow, and it means it's going to save you a lot more time. So there you go. So that was a quick run through of how to improve and optimize the results that you're getting with Fluid Voice, how to add that second step that tidies up the text. There's probably a few more things here that I want to check out, and I'll start playing around with and make a few more videos about. But I just wanted to include this one because this one was quite meaningful for me. I've been using this, as I said, for the last few weeks, and it's already saved me a whole bunch of time. And this update of adding the second step with Claude Haiku, applying that custom advanced prompt, has been a bit of a game changer for me, and I heavily endorse Fluid Voice, and I'll continue to use it. And like I said, if you have any other questions, please leave them below. Hit like and subscribe if you like the content, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.